and welcome to Justice. I'm Janine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. And as always, a big thanks to all of you for once again making Justice #1 last weekend and for making liars, seekers, and liberals continue to stay on that old New York Times bestsellers list. We have a big show on deck for you tonight with House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Governor Mike Huckabee, Tom Fitt, and Carter Page, to name just a few of the great guests that we have standing by. But first, my opening. Now, tonight is more than an open. It's who I am, what I know, and what I did for over 3 decades as a prosecutor, superior court judge, as well as elected district attorney. The way it works is you are innocent until proven guilty. Clear, unambiguous words etched in stone. Why would anyone ignore this truth? Especially the ranking Democrat on Senate Judiciary, Senator Dianne Feinstein, is stunning. But you shouldn't be surprised. The left is committed to the removal of a duly elected president, the destruction of our system of capitalism, and now an all-out assault on our system of justice. To them, you are guilty until proven innocent. But no one in all the years I spent in courtrooms has ever been able to prove a negative. So forget the time-honored notions like due process, probable cause, beyond a reasonable doubt, or a jury of your peers. Today, unsupported, uncorroborated, untested words, not facts, are sufficient to convict, not just in the court of public opinion, but in the esteemed, hallowed halls of the United States Senate. Forget the right to counsel, the ability to defend yourself, the right to confront your accuser, or even cross-examine your accuser. Truth in this scheme is nothing more than collateral damage if a Republican is on the receiving end of an anonymous allegation. So, Dianne. Let me see if I get this. Let me see if I get this. Another Democrat, a congresswoman from California, no less. Another Democrat, a congresswoman from California, no less. Forgive me if I think it's all hogwash. Forwards a July letter to you containing a completely unsubstantiated claim. Another Democrat forwards a July letter to you containing a completely unsubstantiated claim that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, while in high school, tried to force himself on another high school student almost 40 years ago. Kavanaugh, for anyone who even cares, has categorically and unequivocally denied the allegation. Forgive me if I think it's all hogwash. So, why are we just hearing about this now? Forgive me if I think it's all hogwash. Dianne. When you get the letter, what do you do to make sure it's real? That the person is even real? Given the left's penchant to buy fake dossiers, make up facts, and collude with the media, given the left's penchant to buy fake dossiers, make up facts, and collude with the media to sabotage even the President of the United States, forgive me if I think it's all hogwash. Okay. You say, quote, the individual strongly requested confidentiality declined to come forward or press the matter further, and I have honored that decision. Dianne. You honor that decision? Did you even speak to this alleged person? Did you meet with her? Talk with her? Interview her? Did you ask her to meet with others? Did you ask why she said nothing for all those 40 years? And Dianne. Why would you wait to even send it to the FBI? Diane. Is it because nothing in you and your pack of demon rats? That's what I said, demon rats. Demon rats. AKA Democrats' bag of tricks was working against Kavanaugh? Nothing was working that you were doing, beginning with Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and every unhinged lunatic you could find.
Mr. Chairman.
Brett Kavanaugh.
Mr. Chairman.
To serve as Associate Justice.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to be recognized for a question before we proceed.
You're out of order. I'll proceed.
We cannot possibly move forward, Mr. Chairman.
You're out of order. I'll proceed. Extend a very warm welcome
Not
to
been
Judge
given an
Kavanaugh.
opportunity to have a meaningful hearing on the nominee.
You're out of order. I'll proceed. There are two daughters.
Mr. Chairman, I agree with my colleague Senator Harris.
You're out of order. I'll proceed.
Mr. Chairman, we received 40,000 documents that we haven't been able to review last night, and we believe this hearing should be postponed.
You're out of order. I'll proceed. American people. Chairman, I move to adjourn. You're out of order. I'll proceed. Directly to Judge Kavanaugh. You're out of order. I'll proceed.
And Diane, you've been sitting on this letter for almost 2 months. You let Brett Kavanaugh go through days of Senate hearings, meetings with senators, answered then an additional 263 pages of 1,300 follow-up written questions. And now you want to character assassinate this man who's undergone 6 FBI full-field investigations where no such allegation resembling this anonymous nonsense has ever surfaced? Diane, as the ranking member of the committee interviewing Kavanaugh, how could you possibly let a moment pass without addressing the issue when Kavanaugh was right in front of you and would have had the opportunity to respond? Diane, what were you thinking? Are you stupid? Why would you let it go? Let me tell you why you'd let it go, Diane. Because even you didn't believe it. What other reason could there be? Now, I know about women who've been sexually assaulted and the kind of pain they go through. It is different from other crimes. It lingers and rears its head throughout their lives. I have prosecuted on their behalf for decades. One of the ways that we establish their credibility is with how recent their complaint is. A recent outcry is enormously powerful. An anonymous one almost 40 years later? Not so much, Diane. Not so much, Diane. But silence? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You bozos in Congress, bozos in Congress, you bozos in Congress, bozos in Congress, actually had a fund of taxpayers' money, our money, to pay congressional staffers who were victims of sexual misconduct by your co-workers. Bozos in Congress, bozos in Congress. It's a fund that even you as a woman, a powerful senator, kept quiet about. Bozos in Congress. Whose side are you on? Does it depend on politics? Does it depend on the politics of the accused? Your audacity to destroy and try to destroy a man with impeccable credentials, harm his family, and shift the burden of proof to the accused by alleging one of the most heinous allegations imaginable shows your complete disregard for truth, justice, and the American way. That's my open. That's my open. Do you think Dianne Feinstein is a liar, leaker, or liberal, or all three? There's only one way to find out. My new book, New York Times #1 bestseller, Liars, Leakers, and Liberals, the case against the anti-Trump conspiracy. All right, joining me now with reaction to my open and to discuss the vital issue of conservative censorship, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, House Majority Leader, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy.
All right, thanks, Tucker. Great show. Welcome to Hannity. This is a Fox News alert. Florence continues to pound the Carolinas. Florence continues to pound the Carolinas as we speak. Over 600,000 are now without power. Coastal areas have been devastated by flooding, and the rain is not stopping anytime soon. And coming up, we're going to bring you live reports from the ground. But first, we have a lot of breaking news today, and the media has most of it wrong, and they're not covering the important stuff. Paul Manafort did agree to cooperate with the Office of Special Counsel, but despite what you're hearing from the Destroy Trump left-wing press, the plea deal, it doesn't have to do with the president at all. Nothing to do with the 2016 campaign at all. Nothing to do with Russian collusion at all. Plea deal, it doesn't have to do with the president at all. Nothing to do with the 2016 campaign at all. Nothing to do with Russian collusion at all. But tonight we can report the deep state house of cards is tumbling. And tonight also we have more damning struck page texts that have been uncovered we will share with you. And the level of corruption we now see is beyond shocking. And tonight I'm going to explain why Robert Mueller has no choice but to end his witch hunt, end his witch hunt, and how if he doesn't end his witch hunt, he will forever destroy great institutions in this country like the FBI, the DOJ, the CIA, and more. The choice, the power is in his hands. End his witch hunt. Also tonight we have an update to bring you on the Democrats' dirty tactics. Last-minute tactics to block the Kavanaugh confirmation. The Democrats' dirty tactics. We have a brand-new media blitz from Democratic savior. Yes, the great one is back. Barack Obama. Yes, the anointed one. You're going to see what is the veiled cheap shot that he's taken at Fox News and Talk Radio. The Democrats' dirty tactics. So, sit tight, buckle up. It's time for tonight's Friday edition opening monologue. All right, Florence keeps pounding the Carolinas. Pounding the Carolinas. It is still extremely dangerous. And joining us now with a quick update on the ground in North Topsail Beach, North Carolina, is Hurricane Steve Harrigan. Hurricane Steve Harrigan. Pounding the Carolinas. Hurricane Steve Harrigan. Steve.
Sean, this part of the coast has simply been pounded for the past 30 hours. Part of the coast has simply been pounded for the past 30 hours. Pounded for the past 30 hours. We've seen more than 20 inches of rain and wind strong enough to shear off the roofs of houses close to that beach line. Finally, we're getting some break in the action, just a light rain and a light breeze. That's going to make it a lot easier for first responders to do their job, and that job is growing as the water keeps rising. Police chief here says they are going out at first light to try and see areas they have been unable to get to. The roads here are still very treacherous, down power lines, water and debris, so it's going to be the start of a long cleanup and rescue operation at first light. Sean, back to you.
All right, Steve, I don't think anyone's getting gas at that BP station anytime soon. All right, for everybody, please stay safe. We'll have more coverage throughout the show. But first, the left-wing Destroy Trump media is so quick, remember, lavishing so much praise on Bob Woodward and his new anti-Trump book. Now, this is a book with, of course, unnamed, anonymous sources, over 100 of them. But today, he threw them a bit of a curveball. I don't think they're going to be reporting this on the other channels. I'm just guessing. Take a look.
Did you, Bob Woodward, hear anything in your research and your interviews that sounded like espionage or collusion?
I did not, and of course I looked for it hard, and I did not. So, you know, there we are. We're going to see what Mueller has, and Dowd may be right. He has something that Dowd and the president don't know about, a secret witness or somebody who's changed their testimony, as you know. That often happens, and that can break open or turn a case.
But you've seen no collusion.
I have not. I did not.
Yeah, he looked hard.
Hard.
Yeah, he looked hard.
hard.
That's right, no evidence of collusion because there was no collusion.
I did not.
Also today, we learned that Paul Manafort is not going to face a second trial. He did plead guilty to 2 counts of conspiracy. He's now agreed to cooperate with the Department of Justice. And actually, many in the media on the left, they've been out there reporting and predicting doom and gloom for President Trump over this. Unfortunately for them, those characterizations couldn't be further from the truth. Listen to Manafort's attorney from earlier today.
It's a tough day for Mr. Manafort, but he's accepted responsibility. And he wanted to make sure that his family was able to remain safe and live a good life. He's accepted responsibility, and this is for conduct that dates back many years, and everybody should remember that.
Everybody should remember that. These charges are old charges, completely predating 2016, the presidential election. Now, the president's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, who will join us tonight in just a minute, he released a statement that says, quote, once again, an investigation is concluded with a plea having nothing to do with President Trump or the Trump campaign. The reason? The president did nothing wrong. Let me reiterate. Multiple sources have confirmed to me and others tonight that in spite of what the media is reporting, this guilty plea has nothing to do with the campaign, Trump, or any collusion with Russia. We have numerous sources confirming to us tonight. Instead, it has everything to do with Manafort not paying federal taxes on millions of dollars, and which he made as an unregistered lobbyist for Ukraine's former pro-Russian president. The Daily Caller is reporting tonight that Manafort's cooperation has nothing to do with Russia and collusion with the special counsel, and has a lot more to do with a man by the name of Tony Podesta. He's the brother of Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. The man by the name of Tony Podesta. He's the brother of Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. He's a founder of a once very large lobbying organization called the Podesta Group. And according to the Manafort indictment, if the media would ever take the time to read it, various employees of companies A and B understood that they were receiving direction from Manafort.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
We're now only 53 days out from the most historic election in world history, as a massive hurricane has now smashed into the Carolinas. We're going to be breaking it all down today with the latest coverage and analysis at Infowars.com, and, of course, DrudgeReport.com. Has the most extensive coverage. Like a bomb has gone off. 500,000 plus without power. 10-foot storm surge. Cajun Navy rescues. 30-foot waves. Records recorded by buoys. And the flag still is flying. The American flag. And the flag is still there. ICE says it won't arrest or detain evacuees. Media politicizes wind, blame Trump for storms, predict mass death. Got all the radar feeds up there at DrudgeReport.com and Infowars.com as well. And Florence, weekend days of downpour. Now it's gone down to 80 miles an hour, which means it isn't damaging as many buildings, but it's stalling out and could have 10, 15, 20 feet of water. So this is going to be a disaster. But they think you're stupid. So the mainstream media is acting like you're all following voodoo or something. And, you know, you think that when there's a solar eclipse, that a giant monster is eating the sun, or a giant snake, like the ancient Greeks or the ancient Aztecs would think, or every other major culture. They think you're stupid. Thought some monster was eating the sun, and then you did human sacrifices or whatever. The Titan, Kronos, vomit it back up. They think you're stupid. Was Kronos one of the fathers of the Titans? I forget. And a mythical land known as Cycronia. That's a word no one's heard in a long time. But continuing, ladies and gentlemen, they think you're stupid. Manafort pleads guilty to conspiracy charges, agrees to cooperate with Mueller. And of course, none of it has to do with Russia. And of course, none of it has to do with Russia. It has to do with banking and IRS stuff from 15 years ago. Totally redundant. It's all coming up today and so much more. There's been a couple more truck attacks. And you know, It's like Sadiq Khan said, the Islamic mayor of London. He said, just get used to it. And I've kind of gotten used to it. It's like every day there's a couple truck attacks, 10 or 15 acid attacks, bunch of stabbing attacks, screaming Allah Akbar. Nothing to do with Islam, just screaming God is great. Arabic. People wail and scream and fight for their lives with domesticated Europeans. Even the Dalai Lama said, you better not let Islamic North Africa and the Middle East in. You're crazy. And why do you say that? Well, because the Buddhists, there have been, in India alone, it's estimated 140 million Hindus and other Buddhist sects killed by Muslims since Muslims invaded, what was it, 1,400 years ago? 140 plus million people. You know, just like Egypt used to be Christian, and Turkey used to be Christian. And there were Christians all over India. The Hindus and Buddhists let Christians practice. No problem. But along come the Muslims, and off go your heads. And off go your heads. And off go your heads. And the Dalai Lama's like, let me tell you something. You need to watch your butt. Are you crazy? You know, the only reason the Buddhist monks started having to learn how to fight, you go back a couple thousand years ago, they weren't into warfare. But the Islamic invasions all over, from Indonesia right through into areas of Europe, people were being invaded, so they got more militaristic. Particularly the Buddhist monks got into warfare. That's where you get all the cheesy kung fu movies and stuff, because they had to or they'd get dead. See how that works? But we're liberal. We love Islam. Let's go down and smoke hookah pipes. Oh, we're gay. Let's go to Saudi Arabia. Oh, you're going to kill me? Oh, liberal. Liberal. We are live broadcasting worldwide on the September 14th, 2018 Friday broadcast. And globalists are in full panic mode. They can feel their vampiric attempt to strangle human destiny and take control of human evolution, to direct us on a path of their choosing. They can feel it running through their hands like sand. But the battle is now joined. We have the massive Hurricane Florence slamming into the Carolinas, making landfall in the last few hours. They're reporting like it's a bomb going off. Slamming into the Carolinas, 10-foot storm surge, 30-foot waves recorded by buoys, breaking records. And the left says if you pay a carbon tax, and they say if you give towards Soros and Lord Rothschild and Al Gore, I'm not kidding, and Obama, that's who owns, in London and in Chicago, the two main carbon exchanges. If you pay them billions of dollars each, they will wave a magic wand, and there will not be any more big storm. If you pay them billions of dollars each, they will wave a magic wand, and there will not be any more big storms. In fact, you can go to the Weather Channel or the USA Today 3-4 years ago. They have recorded that compared to the 60s, you go through the 90s on till now, the least amount of hurricanes recorded in the last 400 years in the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean. So the idea that we're having more storms that are more severe isn't true. Now, the only thing that is constant is change. And you can see the big red eye on Jupiter. It's the size of planet Earth. Actually, I think a whole bunch of them. I forget the statistic. How many planet Earths can fit in the circumference of the eye of Jupiter that wasn't there just about 500 years ago? They reported 20. So can we pull up, go to YouTube or wherever, type in video from Voyager 1 or Voyager 2, just a video, time-lapse video of the eye, the great storm on Jupiter. And again, many Earths could fit into it. But you know, it's getting smaller and slowing down. It's a giant typhoon of eddying whirlpool, and that's not caused by humans. Now, it is true that the Earth went up a couple degrees in temperature until the late 90s, and now it's been going down. According to all global measurements, that's not contested now. That's what they said about 6 years ago. Hide the decline, remember that? 6 years ago, hide the decline, remember that? Remember that? Remember that? Remember that? 6 years ago, hide the decline, remember that? So you have the big red spot, which is a big storm on Jupiter. And remember, while the Earth was heating up in the 70s and 80s, 90s a little bit, they were blaming it on a little bit increased CO2 from humans. The plants breathe. What else was happening on some of our brother or sister planets here in the solar system? What else was happening? The ice caps of Mars were shrinking dramatically. What else was happening? The ice caps of Mars were shrinking dramatically. Oh, just as soon as our ice caps started expanding again, what was it? About 19 years ago, about 1999? What happened? Oh my goodness, Mars ice caps started getting bigger again. What is the input in the solar system that was having similar climate effects as Earth was having on Mars? The fourth rock element. Oh, that's right. I forgot. The sun. And I know I'm stating something very, very simple here. Everybody understands this, but your average leftist doesn't, because it's all about how they're going to save the Earth.
What you can smell and what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
So again, we'll have that answer for you soon. How many Earths can fit in the big red spot? That's coming up after the break. And there's some other big storms. You know, Saturn has got a storm that mathematicians over 100 years ago believed would manifest an interdimensional vortex because of calculations they've made, and they believe there'd be a giant hexagon on the northern and southern poles. And guess what? When probes flew over, giant hexagon on the North Pole. Jupiter's great red spot is more than twice the size of Earth. Okay, there you go. So 2 feet. Winds inside the storm reach speeds of 270 miles an hour. Better pay all more money. We'll fix it. Nobody knows when the great red spot first appeared on Jupiter, but it's been seen on Jupiter ever since people started looking through telescopes 400 years ago. My memory is pretty good. I said 400, 500 years ago they first discovered it, so maybe it's a little older. We don't know, but it is now dissipated. And mathematical models and indices that predict within another 50 years or so the storm will be gone, because we will pay carbon taxes, and that will fix the problem. I don't want carbon taxes for Mars. I think we should pay them. Kind of like carbon indulgences. Remember back with the old Vatican days, and they were typical all over the Holy Roman Empire, that you can't get your family out of purgatory, trapped in purgatory, awaiting the hour of the Christ. Skies are turning red. And if you paid large amounts of gold, the Pope will play the magic wand, and out you go from purgatory. But today you pay your carbon indulgences. And you go to U2 Africa concerts, and Bono keeps 99% of the money and makes billions of dollars off of it, and then laughs at you because he's liberal.